Oh, welcome back to Outlandish Claims, everyone. We're here to round out the week with our final thoughts. Gentlemen, we don't really need to go over what anybody said because we've all talked about it together basically all through the week, so we're set. What are your final thoughts?
Why, Albert? Why? I thought it's funny. In terms of the news of Albert Pujols going from the Angels to the Dodgers, my idea with that was I didn't know what was going to happen to Albert. My first thought was the Angels were going to take that money that was the rest of Pujols' contract and use it to extend Shohei Ohtani for life. I would have done that. Outside of that, as a second note now, thank God for Corey Kluber. Because
Why? Do you have him on your fantasy team or something, Demetrius?
yes, I do. And I was about to trade him next week. For what? I don't know. Watching Albert Pujols and the Dodgers and now wearing 2 5s, it hurts a little bit. It hurts. Although congrats on Homer 668 in your first as a Dodger. I can never not root for Albert Pujols, but still.
Gio, let's turn to you because you have a special outfit for this occasion.
Yes, it is the Stephon Marbury 2006 St. Patrick's Day New York Knicks jersey. Authentic and everything. I'll even go close to the camera so you can see the stitching if it's possible. All right, cool. See it. All right. New York, we're here. It's been 8 years. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Many Knicks fans, not including myself as well, have been going through watching this pathetic team year after year with a terrible owner and just having no sights of a future, no vision of what to expect. But somehow this season, they not only won more than 20 games, they secured a home spot, the 4th seed, and they're facing Atlanta this week in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. I mean, you would not have expected that. Would not have expected Julius Randle pretty much locking in the Most Improved Player award, playing like a star. R.J. Barrett making a significant leap in his second year. I mean, who would have expected R.J. Barrett to make the playoffs before John Morant and Zion Williamson? I don't think many people were. I don't think they were expecting Tom Thibodeau. I mean, they were expecting Tom Thibodeau to make this team defensively good, but best statistical defense in the league. Nerlens Noel coming into this role after Mitchell Robinson fractured his foot and his hand and is blocking every shot in the paint. Taj Gibson turned back the clock 6 years. Derrick Rose is playing like a 6 Man of the Year candidate. A lot of good, and there's still cap space. There is still room for more talent, and they have assets to trade. They have extra draft picks. It's a good time to be a Knicks fan. Win or lose in this series, I'm just proud to represent these colors and not get made fun of it for once.
Wow. I mean, how do I deliver a sermon after what we just heard from this preacher right here? I'm going to try. So quickly building off of that, obviously we've got the matchup of the New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks, right? 4-5 matchup. This is going to be, I think, the most underrated matchup in all of the playoff series across the NBA. I can't speak for NHL, but I do know that there's some hidden gems over there. I'm going to let my man Fandango Poppy get to that. But it is a very exciting time to be a Knicks fan, like Gio just talked about. When you consider, again, all of the points, and I don't even really have to go through them all because you sort of articulated it perfectly. Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Tom Thibodeau, they've literally got candidates for MVP, Most Improved, and Coach of the Year all on the same team, right? And then 6 Man of the Year with Derrick Rose, just to throw that in there. When you take that and you also compare it to the upcoming team that is in Atlanta, these Atlanta Hawks, led by Trae Young, who should have been an all-star, but I'm going to rest my case on that one. These are 2 young teams that really get after it, man. I love John Collins. Everybody knows that. John Collins is a severely underrated. It's almost criminal how underrated he is in the power forward position. Clint Capella is one of the least talked about centers in all of basketball, yet he's been a walking double-double for about 4 straight years now. Bogdanovich is solid. Hopefully they'll get back DeAndre Hunter. I'm not sure if he's going to be back in time for the postseason, but if he is, you combine him with Huerter, with Gallinari, with Lou Williams coming off the bench. I mean, all of these guys, man, Cam Reddish, all of these guys. This is going to be, for me, the most interesting matchup to watch amidst a field that has a ton of interesting matchups. And one of the most interesting matchups of evenly matched teams would be these Milwaukee Bucks against the Miami Heat. I think that we can all agree after seeing yesterday, and Gio, you can attest to this, the Bucks better be thankful for Jrue Holiday. I mean, Chris Middleton hit that big shot, but Jrue Holiday got that steal, right? Or that rebound, rather, that layup, and then got the block on Jimmy Butler to finish the game.
As Mr. Mike did set up for me, I am here to talk about one thing only. Tim Tebow has officially signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I find it amusing the last time that he played in the NFL, the quarterback he's currently playing with was in middle school. But no, that is absolutely not what I'm talking about. It's NHL playoff hockey time, boys. It is the greatest time of all. There's a reason that the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win in all of sports. And there's a reason that is the consensus thought among every reporter. And that is because on the ice, anything can happen. Anything at all. In the NHL, it is the least about one player. In baseball, you get Madison Bumgarner going for a good postseason. He throws a sub-1 ERA in the World Series. That's all it takes. In the basketball world, LeBron is all you need. Kobe was all you needed. Shaq was all you needed. That's it. In football, all you need to do is have a great quarterback. In hockey, you don't get that at all. The goalie stands on his own, and he does his thing. He has an off night. Your offense can still save your ass as long as they perform, which is the case of Colorado. Colorado's goalie shit the bed one night. That's okay. They got the most elite, most talented, stacked forward core as well as defense, maybe in all of NHL at this point. They don't have the single best player, but they have the best rounded forward defense core probably. Vegas has the best goalie to forward defense ratio, if you will. The goalie and the forward and the defense, they all balance each other out. They all do their jobs when they need to. One of them will always pick the other up. There is never a cold night from all three. The problem is that does not translate to playoff hockey, as we see with Toronto losing Game 1 to Montreal. Toronto, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Mitch Marner, and they still can only score one goal in Game 1. They came back, scored 5 in Game 2, but they could only score 1 against Montreal. I understand his Carey Price. I am a huge fan of his, but let's be real. Carey Price is in his late 30s now. He's on the decline, and he's still shutting down teams like that. He's a great goalie, but he's not that good. This is Toronto's time to choke. Then you still look at Canada. The best player on the ice at this point in time, Gio, I don't think there's any argument that it's Connor McDavid, unless you maybe want to say his line mate, Leon Draisaitl. They are down 2-0 against Winnipeg, who lost 10 of their last 12 games going into the playoffs. They were on such a losing skid, everybody was laughing at them and saying, oh, well, Edmonton's got this one. It's almost as easy a matchup as Toronto versus Montreal. The only thing you can guarantee when you're watching playoff hockey is the wonderful Elmo gif that comes up every time I type in this word is just Elmo standing in front of flames with the word chaos. It is nothing but chaos whenever you watch NHL playoff time. No place more so, arguably, than the Tampa Bay versus Florida series, where it has gotten real nasty. They fight every night. They fight at least 7 times every night. 7 times is an understatement. They fight at least 7 times a period every night. And now, because Florida's down 3-1, they've taken to making cheap shots against Tampa Bay star players. And as having a conversation with Gio about this very thing yesterday, we looked to Mr. Joel Quenneville. Because this, as I thought was the case way back in 2015, but I was biased because I hated the Blackhawks and I love Tampa Bay. So I thought I was biased. Gio said, no, you're not biased. You're absolutely right. This is how Joel Quenneville's Blackhawks acted whenever they didn't get calls. They acted like pissy little infants, and they started making cheap shots. And what do we have here? We have pissy little infants taking cheap shots. You have Anthony Duclair, who when he played for Arizona and then played for Ottawa, he was actually an honorable person. He was not taking a stick and whacking the back of the knee of Tampa Bay's all-time franchise-leading postseason scorer. Patrick Hornquist was a great player in Pittsburgh. He was not someone who would come up behind you or next to you when you're trying to hit a puck and blindside you right into the boards. And all of this to say, you get so much chaos, and it's so much fun to watch, but it really rounds out to what I started with and what I'm finishing with. And that is Colorado, and that is Florida, and that those two teams have one thing in common. Dirty-ass players. Nazem Kadri got his. I really, 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 really hope Duclair and Hornquist get theirs. I really, really do. Because let me tell you right now, if all it takes to move on out of a playoff series is for one guy to take his stick and maybe break somebody's leg or pop their knee for a little bit or hurt their hamstring or whatever happened behind his knee that caused Kucherov to just drop to the ice like a sack of potatoes and limp off the ice, if all it takes is taking out that star player that you can then come back from a 3-1 lead and you're only faced with one player getting suspended for a 5-game stretch or a 3-game stretch, there's something wrong that needs to be fixed in the NHL. And that is my NHL playoff recap, from everything that you need to know to watch to everything you need to know about how the NHL does, or in this case really does not, deal with punishing their players for goonish bullshit behavior. That will do it for us this week. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week with a whole bunch of new stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you then.